In the beginning, we would like to start with an outlook on 2023. As 2022 is coming to a close, we hope that COVID will continue to run its course as it does right now, and we hopefully can return to a new post-COVID normality. We plan to participate in the next year's RIMS 2023 in Atlanta, and we'll also host again a TRC appreciation dinner on Monday, May 1st, 2023. So we also would like to share with you that we are already in planning stages for a global forum in Cannes, France, which will take place at the end of May 2023 on May 30th and May 31st as a reminder. Please mark those dates in your calendar, and we hope to see you there at the latest in person again. In our last session, many of you requested that we present a European territory in our next edition. Due to the Russian and Ukrainian war, which unfortunately has been already taking place for the last couple of months, the emphasis for many of your clients is and was how to arrange coverage in Eastern Europe. Certain territories like, for example, Russia, Belarus, Ukraine, even now Armenia and Georgia, are now excluded from reinsurance treaties for the global carriers, the likes of AIG, of Chart Travelers, CNA, and Allianz, and so forth. So, but we as Trust Risk Control can assist you in arranging coverage in those territories on a standalone basis with local markets, provided the insured, of course, is not subject to OFAC sanctions. Today, we're happy to feature like one of the Czech Republic and Poland as territories, which we will present together with partner Renomia. One of our really solid and very long-standing relationships we have in our TRC broker network. Renomia is one of the largest Eastern European brokers. So we want to welcome and introduce you here to Michal Holzer, who is a representative of Renomia from the Czech Republic, which you can see here on the right-hand side of your screen. And on the left-hand side, I would like to introduce Joanna Stypulkowska. I hope I said it the right way. From Poland, also from the representative from Renomia from Poland, which will educate us more about their countries, their insurance markets, and also their overall capabilities in Eastern Europe. As you will see, Renomia has not only representation in those two countries. We will focus on that, but they also have representations actually beyond that. So for housekeeping, quick comment, we will send you copies of the presentations after the webinar, so there's no need for you to really make any notes, we will actually send to all participants who have registered copies of the presentations. Regarding questions, we will answer those after the panel discussion. So please use the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen within the Zoom window. So, and now actually, I would like to start with actually a quick poll and to see what is your knowledge about Eastern Europe, and just to get a little bit of feel of what actually subject is today. So here we go. This is the first question. I thought it's a fun one. So we are in the middle of the World Cup. So which Eastern European countries participate in the World Cup this year? So I give a little bit of so there's a multiple choice questions. There are actually 3 nations who are enlisted here who actually participate on the World Cup. So please let me know, please make your choices. Like for some of you who are big soccer fans, or as we call it in North America, or European football, right? Like from a European perspective, might know the answer. The second one also is more about in general the answer. So which of the following Eastern European countries has the largest population? So you see, I see some answers here. There we go. Some of you folks are now going into it. Very good, excellent. That's really good. Yeah, and then the last question we have here in the polling is: who is the largest non-life insurer in the Czech Republic? This is a single choice question. So and I give it 1 or 2 more minutes, and then we actually come to the end of it. So here we go. So here we go. So let me give you actually the answer to it. So question number one, who's participating on it? It's Poland. Again, congratulations to Joanna from Poland, who have advanced to the second round. Phenomenal. Croatia, who's playing right now, trying to advance also to the second round, vice world champion. And actually Serbia, who actually has not participated the last time. The second question, yeah, that's absolutely correct. It's Poland, which is by largest really the country in terms of population. And you will see it in our presentation, the exact numbers and the differences between those countries. Phenomenal is really great. And then, of course, we have, who's the largest insurer in the Czech Republic? Well, it's actually, when you look by single choice, Generali Česká pojistná. It's a Generali arm, we will actually talk about it a little bit later about it. Michal will educate. It's not entirely correct because there's also group associations. And again, we're very happy to share this with you. Michal will educate us on this. So here we go. And now it's time to actually start the presentation. So here we go. And starting with actually our partner. So who's Renomia? So Michal, Joanna, you can probably say a couple of words about it. History, would really appreciate if you educate our folks a little bit about your company.
Okay, very briefly, and thank you, Christian, for the introduction, and good evening from Hamburg, or good morning to US. We are a family-owned company that was established nearly 30 years ago in 1993, so soon to be 30 years, in the Czech Republic. And now we serve our clients in 12 Eastern European countries, mainly European Union countries, NATO members. We call it B2B. It's Baltics to Balkan. So you may see we are in Baltics, Poland, Czech Republic, Hungary, Romania, Croatia, and other countries. Plus, we do run our own network that is partner-based. These are countries far east, can be like Moldavia, Kazakhstan, etc., etc. Altogether in 30 countries. Now we are around close to 110 million USD in revenues, which represents nearly 700 million managed premium. Here you see the belt. So the black blue or dark blue, these are countries where we have our own offices. And the other countries are, the light blue are countries where we have our partners. So we do not own them, but they work under our brand. They use our IT, they use our marketing, we do compliance training, and we support them in respect of placing difficult risks. You might have seen that we have in Prague nearly 30 specialties. These are people who are really skilled in various business verticals as construction, aviation, agriculture, automotive, medical, real estate, etc., etc. So this hub is in Prague and supports the region. And you may see that the CE, and I'm now speaking about this dark blue countries, is a very interesting region. It's 112 million people living there. So it's bigger than United Kingdom or bigger than Germany. However, it's 12 different cultures, 12 different languages, 12 different regulations and legal environments. Even if the countries are member of European Union mostly, you may find some local specialties, differences, etc., etc. Yeah, and we see that this region has a really high potential. The region is growing faster than the Western European countries. It's natural. I would say it's natural. It's not that we would be like better than Germany, but there is a potential for further growth. And compared to penetration of non-life insurance, there is still a space for growth. Yes, we see these countries of high potential. and a membership in European Union and NATO gives them some kind of stability stability stamp. Yeah.
Yeah, so now we actually like going into it. Really appreciate like the introduction, Michal, to actually Renomia, and then like we would like to get to know a little bit more about the Czech Republic in particular. So which are like kind of top companies in your country? Like some examples like for interest for our basically participants.
So one answer has already been answered. It's generally, but it's typical for our region, and it's more or less very similar in every country in our region. That generally, and VIG Group, which is represented by different brands in Czech Republic, it's Kooperativa or Česká podnikatelská pojišťovna, we call it CPP. They dominate the market. Yeah. So in Czech Republic, it's generally roughly 30%. Then almost the same 30% is made by Vienna Insurance Group through Kooperativa and Česká podnikatelská. And then Allianz, which is worldwide known, can be like 8 to 9%. Unica, also Austrian-based company, and then the rest of the market. So we also have Sharp and Colonnade as a Fairfax company out of Canada. AXA XL, but these are more or less specialized in some niche markets. Yeah, so financial lines, DNO cyber. Sometimes they do select the industries they work with, etc.
Okay, that's good. What kind of industries, like typically, would you find? Like, what is like the Czech Republic known? I know, I think like about like when the opening to the east took place, I think a lot of also Western companies took advantage, right? I believe you have a lot of plans from there. Maybe talk a little bit about the industries you typically would see in the Czech Republic nowadays.
Historically, we were very much in machinery. And this is still industry that dominates. Nowadays, it's automotive, yeah, automotive and machinery, doing parts for aviation, doing some parts for even space industry, yeah. So machinery. And we are very export oriented. Yeah? So for example, German companies are the biggest investors we have in Czech Republic, and they could make like 1/2 of foreign investments in Czech Republic, and our goods being served and export to Western country, Germany, UK, US. These are the biggest incoming countries for our goods. Yeah.
No, that's great. And now, like, I think the interest also for our broker partners always, what kind of lines of business would typically be written and would be recommended? Because, like, let's say US like entity has a subsidiary there, that comes to, let's say, GL, PI, and also the question always arises: how is workers' compensation handled in the US? It is privately actually organized. How is it in the Czech Republic? Is it social security scheme? Is it privately organized? Like, yeah, if you can have a couple of those items like lined out for our participants today, that would be great.
So thank you for asking. Most probably I will give you the answer that will be common for also other countries in Central and Eastern Europe. So speaking about workers' compensation and employers' liability, this is something that is partially covered by government scheme, and partially, or some small pieces out of the workers' compensation and employers' liability can be placed through general liability, for example. Yeah. So you may know that in Czech Republic, health insurance is on a public base. Yeah. So it's done by government, and everyone is insured. And when something happens, the public insurance will pay the costs for your treatment. But when it comes to some working accident, this public insurance company can recourse the cost towards the employer, and this is something that can be covered from general liability, but must be placed locally with this extension. Yeah, which is not unusual. It's not a hard job to do this, but you need a local policy to cover these health recourses, yeah, or recourses from a public insurance. On top of that, we can provide some kind of group accident policies that will cover the compensation towards the employer. Yeah, because this is not automatically covered. So if your employer will, be harmed during a work, the cost for treatment will be paid out of the public insurance company, but the compensation to the employee can be paid out of the group accident policy or individual accident policy, or etc. It's not automatically covered. Yeah. The rest, as well as social security, is done by government. So pension schemes are done by government and they are public. So and particularly in Czech Republic, there is not so many to offer above the government scheme. Happy to say that healthcare system works very, very well. So it's on a great level. So we have some, let's say, private hospitals, but they are only for some soft medicine, like plastic surgery, dentist, some eye clinics or something like that. But for serious surgery or heart attack or brain surgery, whatever, it's a system provided by government, and it works very, very, very well on a high level. Yeah.
No, that's great. Like, I really appreciate like the insight. I think like we all do, like to understand like getting a bit of knowledge actually about how it's working in the Czech Republic. Another thing which is actually like on everybody's industry is about NatCats, right? So we have in Florida, we had the unfortunate event, not only Florida, but also the other neighboring states. We had Hurricane Ian coming through. We have wildfires in California, in the western part, so a lot of things. So, and as I've learned, like speaking with you, I think you also had some already like unusual events, right? So I think there have been even like first time a tornado in the Czech Republic. How did this occur? How does it affect the market? Do you also, what kind of trends do you see on the property side in terms of NatCat in general on losses?
You're right. In 2029, we suffered tornado in the south part of Czech Republic. This was how, I guess it was for the first time, but maybe I may be wrong, and it happened also 50 years ago. But yeah, most probably it was for the first time. And the output of this tornado is a loss ratio in general, bad loss ratio of insurers that are on the Czech market. So we see there is some soft rising of the prices that are caused by partially tornado because of the loss ratios, and then inflation, and in general the prices are going up. So we see that the work or labor costs, for example, are growing up. So that gives you an input to raise also prices in general, and that causes growth in premium rates, etc. In general, property is done by loss ratio, and tornado is one of the answers.
Interesting. No, thank you so much, Michal. I really appreciate the insight. And I think now we want to turn actually to Poland. So, Joanna, I think also Poland is like the Czech Republic, also like one of the really upcoming economies in Eastern Europe for the last, like, I would say probably 2 decades. As you know, as many of you know, like I'm originally from Cologne, Germany, so I'm very also like experienced that. And actually, I want to also share with you that in the US, we have a lot of requests also in the last, I would say, 2 years, where we see US companies acquire either Polish company or establish actually new entities in Poland. So it's the largest population. The answer to the questions, I think I've learned it's about almost 38 million, I think, in inhabitants. So yeah, please tell me a little bit about your country, what kind of key industries are normally in there, companies and so forth. If you provide like a little introduction about Poland, we would really appreciate that, Joanna.
Very well, Christian. Thank you. Let me say hello to everybody. Good morning, America. My name is Joanna Stypulkowska, and I joined Renomia recently, as there is a brand new office of Renomia in Warsaw, Poland. I will be glad to support you and to collect your inquiries about your clients' operations in Poland. And in fact, our economy is doing quite well. The population of 38 million and gross written premium like $50 million is at hand. So, like there are many similarities to Czech Republic as per industries that we develop. However, it's been changing recently because historically we were like agricultural focused. Recently, as the world is changing and all the IT systems are being implemented in each and every industry. So there's more popular IT and all the services industry, as well as, of course, still agriculture, we are there, and manufacturing as well as in Czech. So there were like in past 20 years and still now, many investments in manufacturing companies that are being set up in Poland and providing, like in automotive industry, for example, and so on. So these are like top industries we deal with in Transmarket as well.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much for the little insight. So now, we're changing over to the lines of insurance, lines of business. So yeah, similar questions then to Michal is, so like how do you deal normally? I think like typically, like I would guess, like if there's a Polish subsidiary, then there would be, I would say like the need for a general liability policy, but also everybody is also interested, how is the workers' comp scheme, employers' liability? Is it similar in the Czech Republic? Like if you can have a couple of actually comments about it, that would be great.
Yeah, I understand your question, as this is a very popular question coming out of US, because it's structured differently than in US, however, similar again to Czech. Workers' compensation is covered, provided by the government, by the country. However, and this is different to Czech, our health system is poor. I'm sorry to say that. But this is the niche for insurance. And that's why all this, we say it like, we call it like EB lines or life market is developing these days. Each and every employer has to propose to their employees like healthcare program as well as a life program. So these kind of benefits. It's like must have, must have when an employee is searching for a job. He will definitely ask for these two benefits that are offered by the employer. So practically, it's being developed very quickly and profoundly. I mean. So this is the chance for the company set up in Poland to attract employees locally, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's very similar than in the US, like, so where we have the same challenges where in many sectors you have to attract actually employees to good benefits. So that's a very insightful. So also, like as I've learned, we have had quite a few more placements in Poland, like I said, in the past years. So when it comes to property insurance, we also like it would also be nice to have like a little bit from your insight. I believe that there are increasing like issues on fire protection in terms of compliance requirements, and also if you can have maybe a couple of comments about the property markets, the standalone markets. How is it easy to place property insurance right now in Poland, or are there any challenges you're facing?
Well, the first answer would be yes, it is easy, but of course it's our job to provide the client with the proper offer. However, the market is also changing and it is becoming more requiring, I would say, in terms of fire protection. So the client, this is our job also to to let the client know that he has to take care of their business in terms of fire protection, because right now not everything can be insured. Let's be true. Let's be honest, right? So, however, recently, even though the client, let's say that the factory is poorly protected, it is still possible to get the insurance cover for such poor protection, but it would require from the broker more work, more effort to find the cover. Probably the cover will be consisting of several co-insurance, like we have to build up a pool to find, certain shares to build up 100% cover, to find a leader to underwrite this. It requires from us more work, but it is still achievable, definitely. However, the risk managers require more and more protection, sprinklers, detection system, etc. Everybody has to be more and more aware that they need to protect their assets first, then insurance comes second, the second step, right?
Yeah, no, that's correct. That's very, very interesting. Like I said, like everybody is really interested to see what are the differences. So the other thing is like what I've learned. I think Michal, you might have mentioned it as well, is which always surprises everybody, right? Like I don't think, are there any insurance tax, like insurance premium tax? Do they exist in Poland? That's always a question. We have very low levels in the United States. But of course, there sometimes can be much higher, as for example in Germany. So how is insurance premium tax to be dealt with? Is there anything applicable in Poland?
Well, I don't want to mislead you, but Poland and Czech Republic is the only countries in Europe, I would say in Europe, without any insurance tax. No tax on premium, no tax on no VAT, and no tax on premium. Yeah.
No, that's great. That's another reason why I think a lot of like US companies like to actually invest in those countries. Like that totally makes sense to me. And then maybe just to conclude on the Poland side, Joanna, can you tell us what are the biggest insurers and what are the typical players in the Polish market on the non-life side, please?
Yeah, we have quite a wide range of insurers operating on the Polish market. There are like 30, if I'm not mistaken, of non-life and like 25 life insurance carriers. So the biggest one would be PZU. It's state-owned, partially state-owned, the biggest one, and it's like, well, significant market share of PZU. There is Ergo, there is Talents, Warta, there is Generali as well, and VIG. Well, practically there is wide trend, CHAP, Polonate, of course. So I'm focused more on, mostly I would even say, on non-life business. That's why I'm talking about these insurers. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's great. So I think thank you so much for the insight into Poland. And I think that maybe we want to actually conclude with a little bit about your company. I think you have maybe both of you can tell a little bit about your company culture, what you're known for, the approach, how you deal with multinational clients. I think we would be definitely also keen to hear how you're gonna be servicing those clients. I think this is something you may value very much also from our side dealing with you, please.
So should I start? Okay. So basically, we call it maybe this word will express it. We call it concierge. Mm-hmm. So imagine yourself and your client coming into country that he do not know the details and has to be guided there. So we are able 24/7. We do and for something other than insurance. So could you recommend us a good doctor or a lawyer or tax office, whatever? Yeah. So we treat them like family members. This is the first thing. Then it comes to services itself. So Renomia team in Czech Republic, it's around 450 people. Renomia in Poland is smaller because it's a brand new team, but also almost 45 people working in Poland, and we have dedicated teams. So there is a claims handling team that do pure claims advocacy for a client. So whenever something happens, they are at the disposal for the clients 24/7. Then we have 30 specialties, business verticals. So people who do speak language of our clients. When it comes to construction, we have a construction guy who knows all the details, how the buildings are built, and knows all the types of concrete that is used. As well, we have a lady who runs aviation department, and she also knows all the types of aircrafts and all these words and meaning of the words, what is taxing, and etc., which is very important to be very have a deep knowledge of the industry of your clients. As I mentioned, we are owned by family, so still family company, and owners are real people that are in the company every day, and every client has or can have their telephone number. So whenever there is any kind of issue, the owners are there and can help and can assist. What is also important, Renomia is now the biggest broker in Central and Eastern Europe. So for insurance markets, generally, Vienna Insurance Group and many others, we are the biggest producer of a business. It gives us a chance to basically get something special, I would say. I'm not speaking about commissions. I'm speaking about the quality of a coverage. When there is a claim, there is some negotiation space with the insurers, and there can be some unclear space. And I'm sure everybody knows what I'm talking about. And this size of a group gives you a strength to negotiate. Yeah. For sure, we have a risk management team. There is risk managers, engineers that are able to describe the risk, to identify some potential risk, etc., to write down the statement that is very appreciated by insurers, but also by our partners. Yeah, and altogether, we do it for keeping the client satisfied, means also keeping a partner satisfied. Then it comes to training and development and compliance and IT. So we have our IT team that helps us to make insurers more, let's say, comfortable for our clients with all these reporting platforms, client zones, automatization, etc., etc.
Yeah, that's great. Like really appreciate the insight you have been provided, and thank you for that. And maybe to conclude, and we are actually starting the floor already with the Q&A, is right now, I think a lot of our, people here, like listening in, and including myself, are very interested in some of your comments regarding what's going on really east of you. So, Michal, Joanna, is there any impact? Is there impacts on your economy? Is there impact on the markets right now you feel coming from the Ukrainian-Russian crisis? So really appreciate any comments you have from that, as that's a very hot topic also here in the United States, where there's a lot of support for the Ukraine as in the Czech Republic. So please let us know how it actually is in your countries regarding that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, what happened in Ukraine, it's completely out of our mind. Nobody could ever imagine that it could happen, but it unfortunately is still happening. and we cannot see an end. How it influenced our economy? Of course, it has. First of all, the refugees coming to Poland. I remember, in February and March, like thousands of people coming to Warsaw, and literally everybody was engaged in some form of assistance, of help to these people. Looking at the economy in respect of what is going on beyond the eastern border, we have to be aware that it influenced whole Europe, I would say, not only Poland, in terms of transport, logistics, etc., in terms of relationship, doing the business, doing the operations, not only in Ukraine but with Russia, in Belarus, etc. All these sanctions, etc. Right now, everybody has to be very careful because we need, and everybody needs to verify whether the client has any relationship with Russia or so whatsoever. So right now, I think somehow we can deal with it as far as we can. I mean, in Europe, hoping that it will come to an end immediately, and then all this effort will have to be transferred to Ukraine to help them build up their country and economies again.
So it's a people tragedy at first, but then you might know that Russia is one of the biggest owner of natural resources all around the world, including oil and gas, and also other metals and other substances that are needed for industries. So and as Joanna said, not only in Czech Republic or in Poland, but also in the rest of the Europe, we face some kind of crisis or stresses, I would say stresses, because of gas supply, oil supply. There are some stresses with ferrum, for example, because Ukraine and Russia, they are huge producers of ferrum metal. So then it impacts to the construction steel, for example, etc., etc. So there are some stresses and inputs to our economy as well. I think the Europe itself is rich enough to face these troubles, but it's not very, let's say, comfortable and make results in some kind of stresses in the governments, and you always find some people that are like pro-Russians, and yeah, this opens this topics. Yeah. And then you have sanctions and that stuff. So frankly speaking, it's not allowed to do any kind of business with Russia or Belarus. These countries are, let's say, on the same sanction list. So you are not allowed to provide any kind of insurance to your clients, whether it crossed the border of Russia or Belarus. These countries are also excluded from reinsurance, and there are so many other sanctions that are implicated through banks, through other industries, etc., etc. So you can't, for example, sell any kind of turbine to Russia, or you can say any kind of computer to Russia, etc., etc. What is needed? What I need to say is also Ukraine, because Ukraine nation, and they are brave, so they are very, very brave. But the Ukrainian market works. It still works. Yeah. So the insurance companies work there. Sometimes it's trouble to have a call with them because they face troubles with the electricity because of Russian put some missiles on the infrastructure. So they face these troubles, but the market works, and all the insurance companies, and mostly the insurance companies are the same as in Czech Republic and Poland. It's Vienna Insurance Group. It's generally can be Unica, Allianz, CHAP, etc., etc. They do support the market to work. So it may take some time, but they are able to cover risk in Ukraine in general.
That's very interesting. Really, really thank you both for the insight. I think we all appreciate seeing this. You're much closer to it than we are here in the United States. So I'm opening up the floor also here for questions from our audience, and just to see, are there any questions from the audience? Let's see whether we can receive anything from your folks. So let's see. You have any question? Let's see whether we see something popping up here. Let's give it maybe a couple of moments and see what we can come up with. Here we go. And yeah, I think there's one question here. I see is actually related to the state of the market in terms of number one, price increases, and I think another issue we're facing here in the United States and in Canada as well as I think Latin America as well, is the cyber market. Is cyber coverage available in the Czech Republic and Poland and other Eastern European markets? Is there huge price increases? How are you dealing with cyber coverage, in particular with all the hacker incidents we're having caused by Russian or maybe Ukrainian folks, or even or other Asian folks? That's an interesting question.
Absolutely, I would say it's a cyber is a normal coverage in our territory. It's provided by multinational groups like Allianz, CHAP, Polonate, but also generally in Vienna Insurance, Unica has the solution for cyber. The increase, we see the increase begin in the COVID, as many people were working from home. The infrastructure were vulnerable. So this caused the rise in a pricing of cyber, and also insurers began being more careful and selective of industries. So it's easy to place cyber risk for an automotive manufacturer, for example, but it's not that easy to place cyber risk for a hospital or financial institution. Yeah. So that's how it works. And I would guess it's very similar in Germany, United States, and in other countries. About the pricing, so as mentioned, COVID, etc., we see roughly can be like 20 to 30, depends on the industry, raise in a pricing in past 2-3 years.
Yes, for cyber in Poland, it has become popular recently. First, it was DNO. Like 10 years ago, it was something new for everybody. Right now, this is popular, available, achievable, etc., and not very, not so much expensive. That the same is going on with cyber. However, there are certain industries that are like on the blacklist, let's say, of the insurers that they wouldn't like to have in their portfolio. But similar to Czech, Allianz, Colonnade, CHAP, PZU, generally Leden, or they can offer, they can provide cyber cover.
Great. Thank you so much. That's very insightful. Let's see whether we have any further questions like that. I think these are already like I said, almost things like were on everybody's mind as we're going through a very difficult renewal here in North America when it comes to cyber markets. Let's see any further questions we have here from the audience. Let's see. Somebody's saying, well, who's going to win the World Cup? I don't know. Like, what do you think?
Poland is doing well.
Poland, there you go. Okay, we go with Poland. I'm saying, I think that's a wonderful finish. I think for us here. I think
UK or France.
UK or France. Okay, there we go. Okay, UK or France. Well, I have to support the Americas as I live in the United States here. I go with Argentina, so let's see to this. Well, thank you, actually, everybody. Like here. Oh, I see. Oh, there's a couple of more questions. Like, there's another comment I see. One of us said Brazil. Okay, there we go. Brazil is. Well, we will see, right? The better team wins. So thank you all. Thank you, Michal. Thank you, Joanna. And again, like also to share, like, thank you. They actually have visited our Hamburg office, Renomia, actually yesterday and today. And that's why you're seeing actually our Hamburg office here on the video. And thank you all for actually tuning in. We're going to send you actually full copies of the presentations with all the contents in a very detailed form, as we, follow today more like a panel discussion, which we thought would be more interesting and more interactive for you folks to see. So you get all the information. There will also be a link provided on the internet by us. So if you do need access to it, please let us know. Like Peter actually contact either Grace, myself, or Gustav, who's like here also like head of marketing. So thank you everybody, and I wish everybody a wonderful holiday season. And I would say, all the best also going into 2023. And I'm looking forward to see everybody in 2023 again in person. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.